The evening air was thick with tension as 68-year-old Martha Jenkins walked home from the grocery store, her arms laden with bags. She had lived in the same neighborhood for over 30 years, a tight-knit black community where everyone knew each other. But lately things had changed. Police presence had increased, and the officers who patrolled the streets were unfamiliar, hard-faced men who eyed the residents with suspicion. Martha was just a block from her house when the flashing lights appeared behind her. A police cruiser rolled up and two officers stepped out. "Ma'am, stop right there," one of them barked. Martha turned, confused. "Is there a problem, officers?" "You fit the description of a robbery suspect," the taller cop said, his voice dripping with disdain. Martha frowned. "A robbery? I was just at the store. The cashier can vouch for me." The officers exchanged glances. Then, without warning, the shorter cop grabbed her arm. "We're detaining you for questioning." Martha's heart pounded. "I didn't do anything. Let me go." What happened next was a blur. One officer shoved her against the cruiser. The other twisted her arm behind her back. Pain shot through her shoulder as she cried out. A knee slammed into her back, forcing her to the pavement. "Stop resisting," one of them snarled, though she wasn't fighting. Bystanders gasped, pulling out phones to record. The officers ignored them, cuffing Martha roughly. Blood trickled from her lip where she'd hit the ground. As they dragged her toward the squad car, she managed to whisper, "I need to call my son." The taller cop laughed. "Yeah, right. Get in the car." But Martha wasn't lying. And her son wasn't just anyone. Locked in a cold interrogation room, Martha sat with her wrists still cuffed. The officers had taken her phone, but hadn't bothered to check her pockets. Hidden in the lining of her coat was a second phone, a small, encrypted device her son had given her years ago, just in case he had told her, "You press this button and I'll come running." Martha waited until the officers left her alone. Then, with shaking fingers, she retrieved the phone and pressed the button. A single ring, then a deep, calm voice answered. "Mom." "Marcus," she whispered, "they hurt me." A beat of silence. Then, in a voice like steel, "Where are you?" Martha gave him the precinct address. "I'm coming," Marcus said. "Don't say another word to them." The line went dead. Meanwhile, the officers were laughing in the break room, unaware of the storm they had just unleashed. Marcus Jenkins wasn't just any son. He was Delta Force, and he didn't play games. Marcus Jenkins was in the middle of a training exercise in Virginia when the call came. The moment he heard his mother's voice, the world narrowed to a single objective. Within minutes, he was in his truck, speeding toward his hometown. He didn't bother with local law enforcement. He knew how this worked. By the time he reached the precinct, night had fallen. The building was quiet, just a few officers milling around. Marcus strode inside, his military ID in hand. "I'm here for Martha Jenkins," he said, his voice low and dangerous. The desk sergeant barely glanced up. "She's being processed. You'll have to wait." Marcus leaned forward. "No, I won't." Something in his tone made the sergeant look up and freeze. Marcus's eyes were ice cold, the eyes of a man who had seen death up close. The sergeant swallowed. "Let me check." A minute later, Martha was brought out, bruised but standing tall. When she saw Marcus, her eyes filled with relief. The officers who had arrested her smirked. "This your tough guy, Granny?" Marcus didn't react. Not yet, but they had just made their last mistake. Marcus took his mother home, ensuring she was safe with a trusted neighbor. Then he returned to the streets. He didn't need weapons. His hands were weapons. Tracking down the officers wasn't hard. They were at a bar, bragging about their takedown. Marcus walked in, and the room fell silent. The taller cop recognized him. "You lost, boy." Marcus smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. The fight was over before it began. One cop lunged, Marcus broke his arm. The other pulled a knife, Marcus disarmed him with a single move. By the time backup arrived, the officers were on the ground, begging for mercy. But Marcus wasn't done. Because this wasn't just about them. It was about the system that let them think they could get away with it. The city was a powder keg, and Marcus Jenkins had just lit the fuse. He sat in a dimly lit safe house, his laptop open, scrolling through files he had pulled from deep within police servers. His Delta Force training had taught him more than combat. It had taught him how to dismantle systems from the inside. The two officers who had brutalized his mother weren't rogue cops. They were part of a larger pattern. And Marcus was about to expose it all. His phone buzzed. A text from Javier, an old army buddy turned investigative journalist. "You sure about this? Once this drops, there's no going back." Marcus typed back, "Do it." Within minutes, the article went live. Exclusive. Bodycam footage reveals brutal arrest of elderly woman. Officers involved have history of complaints. The video was raw, unedited. It showed Martha being thrown to the ground, her face pressed into the pavement, her whimpers of pain ignored. But worse were the documents attached. Internal affairs reports, buried complaints, even payouts to victims who had been silenced. Social media exploded. Hashtag Justice for Martha trended nationwide. By dawn, protesters had gathered outside the precinct. News vans lined the streets. The police chief held a press conference promising a full investigation, but the crowd wasn't buying it. Marcus watched from a distance, his face unreadable. His mother was safe, hidden away at a friend's house, but this wasn't just about her anymore. It was about every person who had ever been wronged by these badges. A hand clapped his shoulder. Javier stood beside him, his expression grim. "They're gonna come for you, man. You know that, right?" Marcus smirked. "Let them." Because he wasn't done yet. The city burned with outrage. Protests turned into clashes. Tear gas hung thick in the air as riot police squared off against furious citizens. Politicians stammered through half-hearted condemnations, but the people weren't listening. They wanted blood, and Marcus was about to give it to them. He moved through the shadows, his tactical gear hidden beneath a hoodie. His target? The home of Sergeant Daniel Reeves, the ranking officer who had covered up countless brutality cases. Reeves lived in a quiet suburb, convinced he was untouchable. He was wrong. Marcus disabled the security system with a handheld scrambler, slipped inside, and waited. When Reeves walked into his living room, Marcus was sitting in his favorite chair. Reeves froze. "Who the hell? Sergeant Daniel Reeves?" Marcus said calmly. "You've got two choices. You can resign tonight and confess to the press about the dirty cops you've protected, or I leak everything." He tossed a flash drive onto the coffee table. "Every bribe, every cover-up, every time you look the other way." Reeves' face twisted. "You think you can intimidate me? I'll have you arrested before sunrise." Marcus stood, his voice dropping to a whisper. "I'm not here to intimidate you. I'm here to give you a chance to do the right thing before the mob outside tears you apart." A loud crash echoed from outside. Protesters had reached the neighborhood. Reeves paled. Marcus leaned in. "Tick-tock, Sergeant. Underscore 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 underscore. By morning, Reeves was on live TV, his hands shaking as he admitted to systemic corruption. The city erupted. Officers were suspended. Investigations launched. But Marcus knew the battle wasn't over. Because the two cops who hurt his mother, they were still free. And Marcus had one last move. The courtroom was packed. Martha Jenkins sat in the front row, her back straight, her bruises faded but not forgotten. Beside her, Marcus wore his dress uniform, his medals gleaming under the fluorescent lights. At the defendant's table, Officers Riggs and Donovan looked smaller somehow, their arrogance replaced by fear. The judge read the verdict. Guilty. The crowd erupted. Cheers. Tears. Martha closed her eyes, letting the moment wash over her. Outside, reporters swarmed. "Mrs. Jenkins, how do you feel?" She smiled. "I feel like justice was served today." Marcus stood beside her, his arm around her shoulders, but his eyes were on the cops being led away in cuffs. This wasn't the end. It was a new beginning. underscore 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 underscore. Later that night, Marcus sat on his mother's porch staring at the stars. Martha handed him a glass of sweet tea. "You did good, baby." Marcus sighed. "It shouldn't have taken this much." She patted his hand. "Maybe not, but you showed them we ain't backing down." He nodded, because this wasn't just about one arrest. It was about sending a message that the next time a cop thought about abusing their power, they'd remember Martha Jenkins and the Delta Force son who brought the whole system crashing down.